Hi everyone, welcome to the first video of a new topic in Year 10 Maths. We are now talking about measurement. In this first video, I want to talk about units of length. And I want to introduce this with a very simple question. How far is the drive from Alexandra to Melbourne? If you do a quick search on the internet, you will get something that looks like this. You will get a number, and it's also going to tell you something else. This thing here, the letters K and M, is a unit, and you're probably familiar of this as a kilometer. In order to answer questions about measurement, we don't just need numbers, we need units. These are sort of standard measurements that everybody agrees on so that we have a common language when we're talking about how long something is. And we're just going to focus on length or distance. So with that in mind, let's get into it. There's only sort of 4 commonly used units of length that I want you to know. The one that we just talked about when measuring distance from Alexandra to Melbourne was the kilometer, and that's one of the larger units. We could also talk about the meter. If you measure your height, you're probably somewhere between 1 and 2 meters tall. Most of you probably also have a ruler. For example, a 30 centimeter ruler. And on one side, you'll have measurements in centimeters, and on the other side, you'll have measurements in an even smaller unit called the millimeter. So as I go down this page, the units are getting larger. And so when I am using these units in the real world, it's going to make sense for me to pick the units that is appropriate for how long the thing is that I'm describing. So if I'm dealing with a table that I'm building for some sort of construction project, I probably want to use centimeters or meters. If I'm talking about the thickness of my hair, I probably want to use millimeters. On the other hand, if I'm talking about very long distances, then I want to use something larger, like the kilometer. There are other units that are even larger than the kilometer, and conversely, even smaller than a millimeter, but these are just the ones that we want to worry about today. The standard one that we all sort of base all of these units on is the meter. So I'm going to define the millimeter, the centimeter, and the kilometer in terms of 1 meter. So if I want to convert from 1 meter to millimeters, I need to know this definition. That 1 meter is the same as 1,000 millimeters. Similarly, I need to know 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. And finally, I need to know that 1 kilometer is the same as 1,000 meters. As long as I know these 3 facts, I have enough information to do what we call conversions. That is, changing from one unit to another. So let me show you how this is done. So recall, on the previous page, we said that 1 meter was 1,000 millimeters, 1 meter was 100 centimeters, and 1 kilometer was 1,000 meters. So let's suppose I had something in kilometers and I wanted to convert that quantity into meters. So I'm going from a large unit to a small unit. I'm going to use this fact. If I know the number in kilometers, then what I need to do is take that number and multiply it by 1,000 to go from kilometers to meters. For example, if I know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, then I also know that 5 kilometers is 5,000 meters, just as a matter of example. So I take the number 5 and multiply it by 1,000 to get 5,000. Okay, what about meters to centimeters? Well, now I'm going to use this second fact. If I know that I have a length of 1 meter, then to go from meters to centimeters, I'm also going to multiply. But this time, I'm going to multiply by 100 because it's only 100 centimeters instead of 1,000. Now, what if I want to go from centimeters to meters? Well, if I know that 100 centimeters is the same as 1,000 millimeters, remembering that these are both 1 meter on each side, then if I divide both sides by 100, I obtain the following. 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Therefore, to go from centimeters to millimeters, I need to multiply by 10. We're halfway there. My goal is if I give you a quantity in any of these units, millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers, I want to be able to change from one unit to another. So now we have to settle the question of how we go the other way. What if I want to go from a smaller unit to a larger unit? For this, we need to know that the opposite of multiplication is division. So for example, if I multiply by 10 to go from centimeters to millimeters, then to go the other way, I need to do the opposite of multiplying by 10. So I should divide by 10. If I want to do the opposite of multiplying by 100, then what I should do is divide by 100. And similarly, to reverse multiplication by 1,000, I should divide by 1,000. And now we're finished. Tell me where you are in this diagram, and we can always go forwards or backwards, depending on whether we want to get larger or smaller with our units. And with that, we're ready to finish with some examples. So here we are. The first question in your work program is all about converting between units of length, which is this video, and units of area, which is the next video. So let's do the first example here. If I want to convert from 21 meters to kilometers, I am going from a smaller unit to a larger unit. So that means I need to divide by 1,000. And if you do this on a calculator, you will get 0.021. Okay, what if I wanted to convert from centimeters to meters? Well, again, I'm moving to a larger unit, so this time I'm going to need to divide by 100. And if I do this calculation, and I can use a calculator if I need to, I will get 0.24 when I do this division. Okay, third one. Let's suppose I've got a unit in centimeters, and I want to change to millimeters. This time, I'm going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, which means I need to multiply rather than divide. And here, I want to multiply by 10. So, when I multiply by 10, I'm going to get 120, and now I've changed from centimeters to millimeters. And finally, in the last question, suppose I have something in kilometers and I want to do a conversion all the way to millimeters. I'm going to need to work my way through this diagram. Now, we can actually do something even simpler. I can get rid of the centimeter column because I know to convert from meters to millimeters, it's 1,000. And to go from kilometers to meters, it's also 1,000. If I combine the times 10 and the times 100, that's the same as multiplying by 1,000, which I've got down the bottom here. So I'm here, and I want to go all the way here. So I will need to multiply by 1,000 twice. And that gives me 300,000 millimeters. See you in the next video.